I was actually just wondering, is there any particular match of yours that you would like to see? Like, I would like to get some insight on MrSup's favorite match from Toryuken. MrSup versus Titanium was the most depressing match you had ever faced. Okay, I wanna hear about your tale of woes. This is true, Frosty Light. You always have to remember that Titanium absolutely hates using super and acts like he doesn't have it. That is too true. We've told him many a time to use your meter. You will see him start using it eventually in some of these matches, which is always nice. You got away with so many of the ninja port kicks. Because you see Titanium here desperately... Okay, hang on a second. Hang on a second. We were talking about hitbox privilege earlier on in the stream. Let's see what happens here. Like, should this hit? I'm just gonna throw it out there. Should it? Should it really? Poor MrSup. The wonkiest, the wonkiest cross up neutral A into Ghost. This is what happens when you use hit spheres, my friends. I'm convinced this is what happens when you use hit spheres in your games. It's funny, yeah, you don't think you've ever run into Titanium? Titanium is one of the OG Toronto players. I brought this game out the first time. He ran up to me and said, "Holy heck, you play Fantasy Strike? Let's go." Right? That was his immediate reaction. This man has been playing this game since like 2018, I think. I brought it out to the weekly. He became one of our regulars. It was fantastic. Titanium is also the original Veiled Threat champion. We hosted a couple newcomer tourneys. Technically, he's been around for a bit, was open to anybody who hadn't reached a certain level in ranked mode in Fantasy Strike. And Titanium never plays ranked. So he's been a bronze player the entire game. But he's an extremely talented player. He went into the first Veiled Threat and actually managed to win it. Veiled Threat. He was certainly not a failed threat. Not in that tournament. Alright, MrSup's insights so far. I use Ninja Port to see if he punishes it. If he doesn't, I will use it again to get in and pressure him from there. What I wanted to do was get in with Ninja Port, Starlight Jump Super the Ghost. That's really cool. That is actually, and do a 2 damage mix up. Yeah. Right? And that's a super solid plan. And he was definitely letting you get in with Ninja Port kicks, and it's one of those things where you're like, hey, I saw someone say in chat, I believe, like, why use so many Ninja Port kicks? It's so risky, it's so dangerous, it can be punished. And it's like, but it's not. And if it's not being punished, you should keep using it. Like, make him prove you wrong, is what I say. Right? Well-spaced Ninja Port kick. Yeah, you get in with it, you get the 2 damage, cape combo, into a dead to gray. Yeah, getting in with Ninja Port isn't always the safest option. That's true, Frosty Light. But I also prescribe to the, if you're too dumb to deal with it, then it's a good option mentality. Yeah, that's exactly it. And like MrSup says, they used it to test it out. What is one round when you're doing a 2 out of 3 in, a 4-round game? Like, you use it to test it out, right? And then great, if they're gonna counter it, you don't go to that option. It's not like players aren't smart enough to choose the safer option when it proves the riskier one doesn't work. But you shouldn't eliminate the riskier option, in my opinion. And yes, someone using Ducky's 4 damage combo. It's a thing that works. If you're not punishing the end of the Ninja Port kick, then absolutely go for it. I think Titanium got caught counterpoint stepping there with the super. And we got some great Satsuki pressure here. Blocks that. Neutral A into Starlight Cobbler. Kunai pressure, Starlight Cobbler. And then cross up Kate land. Which is so solid. Oh yeah, MrSup saying they read the counterpoint step there. That's actually really good. You gotta watch for it. It's one of It's like Degray's reversal. If it's not super, it's that, right? So you got to watch that as an option. All right, Titanium trying to move in a bit. Gets clipped forward A for the 2 damage. Good little block string there, though. Whoo! Going for the MrSup special. Starlight Cobbler into super. But I think that little bit of a wonky hurt box on Degray worked out in Titanium's favor. Yeah, someone jumped towards me. Better counterpoint step. All right, Kunai saving you there. See, no punish on the ninja port. No punish on that. It was a weird little reset situation. Right, Titanium trying to ghost in, and Sup here recognizing it, saying, okay, ninja port. Once again, I see you. Now I actually... Thank you for pointing this out, MrSup. This is why it's nice having you around, because absolutely. You can see MrSup Setsuki here going for these Starlight Cobblers, and it's like empty cobbler, okay, right? And yeah, you're looking for Ghost to counter super it. Yeah, has Titanium used super even once in this matchup yet? I don't think so. That's a problem. That's a resource that you're just not exploring at all. All right, tries to counterpoint step out, gets punished for his trouble. Neutral A into super. Again with the counterpoint step. All right, changing up, Titanium changing up his ghost timing and actually catches the end of ninja port here, right? You see him back off, ghost, catches that, gets a nice AA. Goes in for pressure, but Starlight is super safe and neutral. It's true, if you don't push a button out of it, it's remarkably safe. I think there's a little bit more recovery on it now than there used to be, and far more when you press a button. But yeah, it's like, you can get closer to free. The players, like your enemy's probably expecting you to do something out of it, dive kick, kunai, whatever the case may be. So yeah, it's a free way to close space. But there you go, you get the jump back dive kick, into the mix-up, gets the throw, takes the round. Yo, the back A into throw. Yeah, I don't think you used back A at all yet. Tick throw off the kunai, and then go for the strike pressure. So yeah, tick throw off the kunai into strike pressure, but he counterpoint step out and manages to clip you with the back A, the huge damage. Boom, boom, into the corner. Can't get the follow up. Doesn't matter. Dagger fall, and then frame trap neutral A. I believe that wasn't a counter hit, so I guess maybe you were going for Yomi counter. Okay, let's experiment a little bit more. Is what MrSup says he was thinking. He's probably going to change his strategy. See how am I going to change mine, and am I going to be a lot more footsies mode? I think, yeah, it looks like Titanium was trying to wait for you to become grounded to get the AA punish after the super, but hits you out of the air. Lets you get away. And well spaced ninja port kick again. You've been spacing those super well, MrSup. And then even when they're not, you're getting 1 damage, and Titanium's not getting a punish off of it, so it's really worth it. Neutral A into Cobbler, gets the knockdown, and yeah, finally, at the end of the second round of the second game, Titanium finally uses his meter and gets hit with a kunai. I mean, in fairness, there's been a lot of cape pressure, so it wasn't a bad idea on Titanium's part. The number of supers that he could have built in the amount of time that he had spent in the first game is insane. He could have built, what is it, like it's like 13 seconds for Degray super to build up. Like, you could have had so many opportunities to jump Final Arbiter or to ground parry. And sure, you don't want to be like risky reversal and then get hurt for it, but at the same time, if you're not using your resources, they're not a threat to your opponent. Uses meter when it only counters one of set's options. And then could have used it 7 or 8 times in a row by now in situations that would have covered more. Just off, yeah, based solely off the amount of time it takes for the super to recover. Because all supers in Fantasy Strike recover based on, it's on a timer. Yeah, you're a Setsuki for God's sake, says MrSup. You have to commit to it. Titanium should definitely be willing to go for the supers more often, but he just hasn't been. He really likes Ghost. He really likes Counterpoint Step, which shows. It's just there's that third part of the game that's missing. Counterpoint steps out. Titanium able to build a little bit of pressure here, trying to chase Sup down, but Sup just backs off. Using those ninja ports to get back in, but gets caught jumping. This happens. Titanium is still putting out buttons in the right spots, and he's getting some damage out of it. Goes for a second super. But it was just an empty jump from MrSup, so baits it out. No big punish. There you go. That's a really solid, though. Counter hit on the counterpoint step. Into ninja port, into throw. Super good for MrSup here. Titanium responds with the counter hit dagger fall into combo. So even on life, Sup fishing for that super. Titanium not falling for it here. And here we go, a third super. So within 2 rounds, we have now had Titanium use super 3 times. He got hurt for it once, it was even the second time, and he won around the third. And this was really smart on Titanium's part, in all honesty. Finally realizing once he has started using the super that it's there, recognizes the jump kunai, Final Arbiters right through the kunai because you can destroy it, and then gets the hit for the round. So this puts him up 3-1 now in a game that he absolutely has to win. There you go. And this is exactly why Titanium plays De Grey. Titanium loves himself the frame traps. And so when he can get going like this, this is exactly the mode he wants to be in. Make you block it? Awesome. Now you got to deal with my nonsense. Can't get out of there. So the dagger fall counter hits. Catches the ninja port because you've been using that. You've been using it consistently to make your way in and force him to guess. But he's got it covered this time with the ghost. And gets you for that. Okay, MrSup saying, and then I said this. Okay, it's time to use all the knowledge that I got. Yeah, his pressure is unbelievably good when he can get it going. I think one of Titanium's biggest problems as a player is that he has these huge matchup knowledge gaps because he only plays 1v1 and he basically only plays in tournaments and locals. I don't see him online. He doesn't play ranked. He has some gaps, which is why you see him not punishing Setsuki in certain situations. It's very clear that he can dominate in some matchups that he's, has played for 3 years. Any of those matchups that have changed, you can see where he struggles. Going into the last game here. Sup gonna put all his knowledge to use. These are actually really good calls here. So you recognizing when you can use the ninja port kicks relatively safely against Titanium at least. Getting some good kunais in here, which allows you to get in with some dive kick pressure. I like that. Starlight, this strikes me as a read, where you saw the counterpoint step and were like, I'm going to punish it with super. But it gets right through, which fine. You're at neutral now, so that's okay. And it was a really good read that could have worked and gotten you the hard knockdown. But something that happens this round throws you off hard. Okay. Titanium moves you into the corner. Ooh. You get around the throw with a ninja port. Using those empty cobblers. Unfortunately, kunai into the ghost. Oh. Let's take a quick look at that. I thought you were through there. You were just a little too close. Man, it looks like That ghost just like latched onto you. Okay. Get caught by that. Get in with the throw. There you go. Counter hit, forward A, into ninja port, gets the kick on the mix. Oh, you were actually expecting that to happen, MrSup. That's interesting. I would have guessed it would have gone through. Oh! Can't quite super the ghost there. Oh, wow. Going in with the dive kicks over the ghost. Titanium gets a little bit of block pressure, and then gets the full jump in. He was backing, so MrSup's saying here again, he was backing off and probably expecting that to block. So I used the ghost grab to get him in close. I know he could not push away. But yeah, I'm surprised that even Titanium got over here. The jump A hurtbox privilege is real, and then manages to land that counter hit for the round. Whoops. Dive kicks over top. Oh no, the counterpoint into pile bunker. Because that's a good start. You go for the throw, but he counterpoint steps out. No cross up. Gets you out of the corner. Ooh, manages to block that. Again, no punish on Setsuki's super, which is still, I think, remarkably difficult to do. Oh, again, tries the counterpoint step pile bunker out, through the ninja port, and again, Titanium finally using more of that meter. Okay, let's go back a little bit more to see this whole sequence. Blocks that. No punish. No punish. Oh, feels bad. Should have comboed. And then there's the whiff through, and then as soon as you jump into the air. MrSup saying, and that is where I realized I can only do it now on counter hit. That is so unfortunate. All right, Titanium. Taking another one. Up 2-1 now. Cross up neutral AA. Titanium managing to get away from a lot of these ninja ports at the very least. He's realizing that he's not able to punish any of them and it's not doing much. So he's at least trying to pull away with a counterpoint step and then get into another situation where he lands the hit. It doesn't always work out, but it's changing it up a bit. Get some... Yeah. And there you go. Sup realizing that. Building up some chip. Titanium doesn't want to deal with it. Counterpoint step out, but counter hit with the ninja port into the second one. Now we have MrSup going full serious. And I can't believe this. I felt so bad for Titanium when this happened. Because he's like, he gets over, the jump A doesn't hit, and then he's like, oh, sweet, I will just now punch them. But the parry, he just committed to it right away. Gets parried for it, gets hit, gets thrown, another cobbler, and then the cape mix-up. We have real-life footage of MrSup getting angry. Oh, right, and then the game crashed. So unfortunate. Kind of like killing all the momentum in this matchup, which was great and had a bunch of back and forth. But finally get back into it. Titanium trying to jump away from those ninja ports, trying to counterpoint step away from those ninja ports. Oh! Doesn't cross. Once again, I thought that this one was gonna cross up. Oof. Oof. Not the end of the world, but just so disappointing. And then good justice kicks to get through there. Yeah, absolutely. MrSup saying they play Satsuki. You need momentum to work. Absolutely. And something like that, which is just so unfortunate when it kills all the momentum that you have, and it's just outside of the game entirely. So Titanium getting a solid neutral jump. Right, we got some solid far dive kicks from MrSup here. Tagging Titanium, tagging them again. No punish on the pile bunker, which is so unfortunate. Get the punish that time, though. Got the huge life lead. Titanium managing to start build a little bit of momentum, gets some chip damage. Counter hit knockdown, gets away, little bit of pressure, blocks, no punish. Thankfully for him, jump back ghost. Catches MrSup. Starting to even it up. Oh, unfortunate. You see Sup just being like, okay, I'm a hang back. I don't want to do this. Wait for that opportunity. Go in, which you have been. You've been going in quite successfully with these ninja port kicks the whole time. And then the timed counterpoint step, pile bunker to punish that throw follow up. Yeah, MrSup again. You can see my desperation. You have it. You've got the knockdown. You've got your. This is perfect, right? You go for your kunai. You want the chip setup. You want the mix up, but just slowly and surely that jump back ghost, I think, immediately changed the way that you were playing MrSup. Where you back off immediately, you don't engage, you try to get the punish, you're like, oh no, but just walk back into the corner. He doesn't have ghost now. Titanium managing to pull it out. Oh, MrSup saying they nearly did DQ themselves. It is such a feel bad moment. Like, I get it, but this is what happens, right? Like, all of the players in this tournament were quite talented. Right, but no, you've got to, like, this happens in tournament, and it happens in tournaments all the time, and it's going to happen in a tournament like this with some of the best players in the game. You start poking at your opponent like Sup did at the beginning of this match, where they were like, okay, how is Titanium going to react to Ninja Port kick? MrSup saying, yeah, the advice, don't do Ninja Port, right? But it's like, that wasn't the problem there in the end. You got a lot of success with your Ninja Port kick, and rarely were you punished. In terms of your, like, assessment of the match, it wasn't a bad decision. You weren't recognizing, I think, how much Titanium was picking up on it. Where if you go back, you can see him go from, I'm going to try to punish it with everything. I can't get the punish. Okay, I'm going to try to just be at neutral. Okay, I'm going to try to jump back, right? He was slowly working his way to getting into a better and better situation versus your Ninja Port kicks. And it just happened at the very end of the match, which sealed it for him. He was just on the cusp of making that change and got one of those wins at the exact moment they needed it. In fairness to MrSup, like, after running into a couple of situations which deal some mental damage, you're gonna end up pulling back in some way or another. It is like unfortunate that you pulled back in just the way that gave Titanium the breathing room to win the round. You could have won the game if you didn't respect him. This is absolutely true. Never respect Titanium's meter. That is 100% true. Yeah, and if it was anything to do with him having meter, I'm not sure if he actually did at the end there. Yeah, he did. Right? If it was absolutely anything to do with that, he used it twice, it failed, and then he moved to using Air Super. I don't think Titanium was going back to parry. It was 100% a player-specific knowledge thing, Frosty Light. You're absolutely right. It's interesting. It's like for me when I look at a lot of matches, I try to look at them from the player perspective, and a lot of the times, a lot of folks like looking at the character matchup, but I find so much of the interesting stuff in fighting games comes from the player oriented stuff. So yeah, if you're not aware of it, and a lot of people aren't aware of Titanium, this is the problem. Then you don't know his tendencies and where he's likely to pick up on something and what is going to be his blind spot. Ducky, never respect anyone. I've played MKL for like 50 hours in this game and you still don't respect me. Okay, there's like it's like inversely proportional. The more you play this game, the less you should respect me since you see how I play. New players think I'm really good. Really good players are like, what is wrong with MKL? Yes, Ducky. New players, MKL so good. MKL, quad barrel. God, I need a chat command for that clip, don't I? I think I do. In conclusion, MrSup says next time they will pick Quince, which I think that's absolutely the way to go. Why not? Just play some quants, guys. Like,